Hey everyone, it's your cousin Kitwana. Happy New Year everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to Kitwana's Toys in 2021. And what I have here for you today is the dinosaur toy that you wish you had back in 1993 when the famous Tyrannosaurus Rex roared at us on the big screen in the movie theater and sparked a fascination for dinosaurs with millions and millions of kids and adults alike, both while fascinating and frightening us at the same time. And that toy is the Super Colossal Battle Damage Roaring Tyrannosaurus Rex, released by Mattel in 2018. So it would take over 25 years and many cool Jurassic Park toys later until such a big Tyrannosaurus Rex toy would finally get released, and officially licensed Jurassic Tyrannosaurus Rex, as you can see. And this thing is really huge. I mean, the very old Kenner toys from 1993 were already big. If you remember the big Red Rex, it was really cool at that time, and still is actually. But a Tyrannosaurus Rex in this size has never been released until 2018. Take a look at this huge box. We've got the Jurassic World logo here, and the impressive size is over 1 meter long, over 40 inches long from the nose to the tip of the tail. And then we see a very cool photograph of T-Rex here, and then the lettering Roaring Super Colossal Tyrannosaurus Rex with the Battle Damage logo. This is actually a variant of the Super Colossal T-Rex that you see behind me here, the very first version that released in the same year. The Battle Damage version came a little bit later, and it differs in the way that it has battle damage markings and an electronic roaring function. And let's take a continued look on the box. You can see Triceratops here and the Jurassic World logo. In the real world, Tyrannosaurus Rex was known to prey onto Triceratops, as you all know, of course. And we have another super cool T-Rex image here on the left hand side. This is a fantastically designed box. Take a look on the back. And I really like the prototype. Looks a little bit better that they used for this photographs. With the striping across the back is a little bit more prominent than on the final toy. You can see it is able to swallow up to 20 of the smallest dinosaurs that Mattel has released for Jurassic World so far. And open mouth for a booming roar. That's what we will test, of course. This is truly a fantastic box. The Jurassic World logo on the top as well. And since this is such a cool box, we will not destroy and unbox this on this episode. I will keep this in box, but don't worry, I have a second one of this dinosaur unboxed already, and that's what we will look at in great detail. So I'm moving the box away. And then we got that beast. Look at that, wow. When you unbox the dinosaur, it will come in 3 pieces. The body, the left leg and the tail, and you simply screw them together. It's very easy to do. You can see how the tail connects, and you do the same with the left leg, and then you've got your dinosaur, your very own, your biggest T-Rex that you ever owned, put together in its full glory. Look at that. I mean, this is seriously one of the coolest dinosaur toys that ever released, and if you are a big fan of T-Rex, like so many kids and adults until today, you simply cannot pass up this great figure. Let's start our detailed tour of this figure, so to say. Let's look at it from the front. I really like how the eyes, the pupils are pointing forward, so if you look at it from the front, it looks like the T-Rex is staring you down, ready to attack at any moment. And I really like the darker coloring around its muzzle. It's a really nice detail, and see the eyes are, especially the eyes and actually the whole face are really close to the Stan Winston maquette, of which you can see a replica behind me. That's the Chronicle Collectibles maquette that I showed you in episode number 72. So you can compare this figure to the actual maquette, and you can see that especially the head is really close to the original T-Rex. Look at the eye sockets and everything. It's incredibly cool. The teeth are made out of a somewhat flexible material, feels like rubber, and I wish there would have been a little bit more teeth, but I understand with this material it's pretty difficult to mold them on a small scale, so I think they tried their best, and it doesn't look too bad. If we open the mouth, you can see the tongue does not have any structure, unfortunately, but it's also a kind of a rubber-like material. It's a little bit flexible, and I think it looks great. And you can see the upper jaw, the inside of the upper jaw has been molded as well. That's really cool. And if we look at it from the left-hand side, you can see 2 battle damage marks here, 2 bloody marks. And then if we pan back across its body, you can see the neck. It's also made out of a rubbery material, but not really flexible, so there's no articulation in there. But you can see 2 other claw marks, and then a bloody battle damage mark here, just ahead of the claws. The claws the arm claws unfortunately aren't painted, but I think the arms itself, the mold is really great. It's pretty accurate to a real T-Rex. It's just unfortunate they didn't bother to paint the claws black like they did on the feet claws. Going across his body, you don't really see the ribs, but I really like the striping pattern I wish it would be a little bit more prominent, like on the prototype. Let's go down the legs, and there's a different leg mold on each side, so they didn't simply mirror it. They really put some effort into it, and it looks like the T-Rex is actually walking. It's really cool. Going down to the feet, and there's a joint. You can actually move them around, although I'm sure that no T-Rex was able to actually do that in real life. So I think this is just for stability reasons of the figure. And I think the actual feet claws are a little bit too large compared to the body, although I understand that has been done for stability reasons, because the figure is really, really heavy and huge, so it balances properly despite that. And while we are at the feet, I can also show you the soles. Great molding, I have to say. Even the underside of the feet are done very nicely. And on his belly there is the speaker for the roaring sound, and it takes 3 AC13 button cell batteries that are located in here, protected with a screw, the battery compartment. And here is the flap where you can retrieve the small dinosaurs that you fed through its mouth. You can simply open this flap and retrieve them from the belly. The flap has been integrated very, very nicely, not disturbing at all. So if you place this figure like this, you actually, it's pretty invisible, and that's really nice. Going across its tail, you can see there's some articulation here. It moves from the left to the right, a little bit more to the right than to the left, but not up or down. I wish they would have curved the tail a little bit more, like the cat you can see behind me. You can see it's a very nicely curved tail, where the Super Colossal T-Rex tail is more straight, but is pointing downward at the end, at the least, like a real T-Rex. So they got at least that right. And then let's take a look on the right hand side. You can also see more discrete claw marks panning across its body. There are 3 blood marks here on its body, and then 3 more on its upper leg. I actually like both versions, the Rex without any markings, which you can see back here, the regular Super Colossal T-Rex. Actually prefer that a little bit more if it's without the battle damage markings. But what's really cool on this one is the roaring function, and I'm going to show you how you operate this. So you simply open its lower jaw all the way down, and that will trigger the sounds. So just like the coloring of the figure, the sounds aren't actually entirely movie accurate and a bit underwhelming. They should have used a little bit of a better speaker. That's at least something Hasbro did a better job on it than Mattel, but still, I think the roars are cool, even though they aren't movie accurate. Just wish they would have been a little bit louder. I mean, it's a T-Rex after all, and has to be loud and dominant. But it's nice to give him a series of 3 or 4 different roars and sounds, so that's really cool. Let's look at the other articulation. You can actually pose your Tyrannosaurus Rex in 3 different poses. The first is like this, so the legs actually click into place in 3 different positions. This here is the hunting position, and then you can have it walking straight like this, and then the famous roaring position. And what you have to notice is that actually both the upper jaw and the lower jaw move. So this is the maximum it can open, and that's pretty impressive and very true to a T-Rex. It has to be that way, although I prefer it when the upper jaw is like this and only the lower jaw is opened to the maximum. It's a little bit more realistic, but of course you can also simply close its mouth like this, and you can see it has the overbite that the real life T-Rex had as well. That's really cool. I am such a big fan of T-Rex. I've been fascinated since 1993, since I saw it for the first time on the big screen, and while I was more scared than fascinated back then, T-Rex has remained in my heart until today, and I would study each and every detail of this dinosaur, and all the toys I had of T-Rex had to be as accurate as possible, like I saw it on the movie. And I'm so glad that Mattel has breathed new life into the Jurassic franchise by developing toys that are both very appealing to collectors and kids as well. So not only they look pretty accurate, but they also have great playability, and that's fantastic. I mean, these toys are like the old Jurassic Park toys. They are going to last for generations, and can play and display them for years and years to come. That's super cool. Let's take a look from the back. See, I'm panning across the tail and then across its body. I love the darker upper body here. And you can see they did a really good job in hiding the joints of the jaws. I mean, even when you look at it directly from the back, it doesn't look too bad. And from this side, it's hardly visible that there is a joint. It's really good. So great job from Mattel. I've actually had the very rare opportunity to get a backstage tour in summer of 2019 at the Mattel Design Center in El Segundo, California, and actually I saw some of the Jurassic World prototypes, including a prototype for this figure here, and I have to say it was really impressive to see how they design and create their toys. They put a lot of effort into it, and it's a great big young team that's working there with a lot of passion, and it truly shows in these toys. So the Super Colossal T-Rex, actually both versions of them are no longer available as we speak. While I recorded this video in January of 2021, they are sold out at major retailers and at Mattel, but you can still get them on eBay. The Battle Damage version goes for about 70 to 100, sometimes even $120. But keep in mind the original retail price was around $49 if I remember correctly. So it has increased a little bit in value, and I'd definitely go get it while you can. I think with the next Jurassic World Dominion movie coming up in 2022, next year, there will probably be a third version of the Super Colossal T-Rex. So I can't wait what they'll have in store. Maybe they'll re-release the very same version again, just in a different box. That could be as well. But what I would really love to see is a grey colored version of this figure that would be movie accurate coloring, just like I saw it in Jurassic Park back in 1993, or like how it is shown on the box artwork. That would be super cool. I've seen some great customizations online for this figure, so maybe someday I'll get one of that. But we can hope that Mattel releases a different color Super Colossal T-Rex. We haven't talked about the size, I guess. I mentioned it, it's truly just over 40 inches from the tip of the tail to the nose, and stands around 12 inches tall, 30 centimeters from the feet all the way up to his hips, and that makes it the largest officially Jurassic licensed dinosaur toy, or T-Rex toy at least. I mean, the Brachiosaurus is a little bit bigger, the Mattel Brachiosaurus, but that's the largest T-Rex toy that has been released so far, and it's an absolute must to have this in your collection. This figure would be about roughly 1/10 in scale. A real life T-Rex was about 40 foot long and 12 foot tall. And as another fun fact, the T-Rex was and still is the animal with the biggest bite force that ever lived. It wasn't the largest dinosaur, actually, but it's definitely the most powerful when it comes to paw power, to bite force, and that's no wonder when you look at it, at this incredibly big beast that, as said, has fascinated so many of us and continues to do so. And with that, that was it for this episode of Kitwana's Toys. Again, take a look how incredibly big this figure is. The Super Colossal T-Rex. Good luck finding it, and I'll see you next week and again for another episode. Goodbye.